You are getting sleepier and sleepier. No, wait, hang on a second. You're getting sleepy, sleepy. No, you're getting sleep. Forget it. You're not getting anywhere without me explaining what's going on. The thumbnail is absolutely right. By the way, this is Nick. Thanks for stopping by. The channel's called Afternoon Shred. And lately I've been sharing some hacks with you guys. I don't know. I've got maybe a couple more hacks up my sleeve to share with you. And every happy accident or new discovery, I'll post here and leave with you guys. M audio sustainer for the Arturia keyboard. On the back here is a switch and it has two positions. Now, on my left, your right, if it's in that position right there, then it becomes a sustainer that requires you to step on it, sustain the note, release, and you got about 2 seconds to go to your next note or next chord before it completely dies off just kind of abruptly and stupidly. So if you push it down again, you can sustain the next chord or next note, right? And it works exactly like you would a piano. You step on it, it sustains the chord or progression that you're playing for a little time, you release it, and then your piano goes back to that dry sound that you had, right? Now, if you put it in this position to the right, my right, your left, all right, then what you're getting is you don't have to step on it. The minute you strum a chord, it sustains. It starts the sustaining cycle right away, right? I found out that you can't do more than 2 layers of sustain, because after 2 layers, if you try to do a third and a fourth and a fifth as it's looping, as it's sustaining, it becomes muddy, it becomes incoherent, and it sounds like the sound is fighting with itself. It just sounds really messy and ugly, to be honest with you. But I think 2 layers is pretty cool. You get 2 layers of that, right? Now, that's what I mean by looper. In this position here, you could strum a chord and it will sustain, and it will sustain infinitely, you know, for as long as you want it to sustain. And you can do another chord in the background that won't muddy up the sound and will kind of like go along with it, will complement it in a way, right? But here's the thing. I'm doing this through my pedal board, my Plethora X5 pedal board, right? And I'll show you exactly what I've got running on my pedal board here. I have it in factory setting 11, all right? Factory setting 11, the front of the chain, first block in the chain was an effects loop. I swapped it out for a looper. Then I didn't touch or alter the rest of the chain. It has 2 delays, it has a pitch shifter, and it has a reverb that has some kind of modulation, possibly a shimmer modulation that comes in slowly and fades out and whatnot, right? Now, here's how I discovered that it can be a looper. If this requires multiple signals to be input into it in order to act as a looper or to act as a sustainer, to sustain the note infinitely. The minute you capture that multiple effect chain, you have to turn off your pedals. And if you want to solo over top of it, like I said, you can bring in your overdrives, you could bring in your distortion, or you can leave it clean. Like I turned off the delays and the pitch shifter, and I left the reverb as an example for what you can do with it, right? And I'll show you these examples in a second. Trying to make it loop with just say a delay and a reverb, it won't happen. For some strange reason, I discovered that it requires multiple effects, and it's possibly because the delays on this, the delays that I have set here on the Plethora X5 are, one is a long delay and one is a shorter delay, and one kind of like fades in and the other one fades out. And I think those fade ins and fade outs are complementary to the sustain pedal. And that's the signal that it picks up on to sustain and to loop over and over and over again, right? So trying to loop, just say like a delay pedal, no, it's not a looper. It won't do that. Try to loop a delay pedal and a reverb, it won't do that. But 2 delays, a pitch shifter, and a reverb, it will do that. And the minute you have the loop going, you've sustained the chord and the note that you want, then you could turn off those effects on your pedal board or your Axe effects or your Helix or whatever, right? And you can solo over top of it by bringing in your gain effects. Or if you want a clean solo, you could just bring in a clean sound and you'll have no problem. And in that way, it works exactly like a looper would. Now, the slicer part, if you step on it, what it does is it splits the signal in half and it gives you that breakup, that breakup. You know what I mean? It does a pattern like that. And like I said earlier, if you have a drum machine, like you saw on my pedal board, I have this little Flamma drum machine on there. When I include the drum pattern, and although I didn't time it right, if you do time it perfectly, that breakup can sound really good and really cool and can be used, right? So without further ado, here's the examples I'm talking about. So I'm going through my Hot Rod Deluxe here, which is set at 2. And believe me, that's more than enough. It sounds like it's a 20 watt powerhouse beaming out at me with that sound. I showed you my Plethora X5. I'm running it in MIDI so I can just step on or press the button to change the channels rather than toggle up and down on the Plethora X5. I'm just going to strum open strings, right? I'm just going to strum the guitar open. Now, I'm going to turn off the effects except for the reverb. It's still sustaining. And it will sustain infinitely until I stop it. But I have the reverb going on to play a little solo in the background. Now, what if I add a little drum to it? Now, if I step on that sustain pedal again, I will get that tremolo sound, that choppy sound, almost like a slicer that I was talking about. But I'm going to try and time the beat properly, because if you time it properly, you can get a really cool effect from it. And as you can hear, it's still looping. It'll loop infinitely. Make no mistake about it, all guitar players are magicians. They're always looking for the next sound. They're always chasing sound. They're always looking for that amp that can do something different, that guitar that will, I don't know, vibrate differently. You know what I mean? When they play it, that sound that they're looking for. And I think this is kind of cool. You know, it's kind of like sleight of hand. Make people think that you're using one of these expensive sustainers, and all the while you're using a $40 piece of gear that really goes to your keyboard. Anyways, thanks for stopping by. I'll see you guys next time.